Hey guys, welcome back to Mana Down Under. Today is a deck idea, not a deck tech, just ideas, throwing them out there, for Firesong and Sunspeaker, the Dominaria Red-White Legendary Minotaur Cleric. Now this card is pretty spicy, it's gonna get pretty hot. So, red instant and sorceries you control have lifelink. Whenever a white instant or sorcery causes you to gain life, Firesong and Sunspeaker deal 3 damage to target creature or player. So it's 4/6/2, but doesn't matter, you're never attacking. So this was a buy box commander. Kind of annoyed a few people, you can't pull it from packs, so it's got a premium on it because you had to spend the money outright to buy the box anyway. But the commander deck is very strong. It's got strong weaknesses, but when it works really well. So most people design the deck around either the first ability, which is all about red having lifelink, or the second ability is white having lightning bolt attached to it. It is easy to build around the red part because there's gaining life and lightning bolting is a bit harder because it's only per spell. The red lifelink can just blanket the board and board wipes, which is the main idea of the deck. So the deck is focused around red's version of board wipes, which we know are just big damage spells. That's how the deck gets a ton of life, gets out of control very quickly, and then we find ways to abuse our life total. So the first cards we'll look at are like your mono red board wipes. So Act, dealing 13 damage to each creature. If there's 10 creatures in play, you get 130 life. That's simple. You got things like Earthquake. Now spells like Earthquake, which hit the board and players, is a big part. Because hitting the players does close the game out for you. You get closer to your win. But because you've got lifelink, you hit yourself, but you hit the opponent. It doesn't matter, you gain the life back anyway. So it's just positive value. Rolling Earthquake, same deal, hits each player. Probably get that from the Vault Edition because the Portal Through Kingdoms is a bit expensive. Molten Disaster, good way with the kicker, more damage, each player as well, big part. Now Anger of the God and Sweltering Sun are good in the mid game because this deck is 6 mana commander, and it turn 6 and 7 is where you're set up and doing what you want to do. These will help control the board a little bit earlier on. Scatterstorm, Inferno can deal with the smaller things earlier on as well. Inferno is funny because it's 8 or 7 mana, instant, 6 damage to everything on the board. You can recur this later on. Fault Line, same deal, each player, that's what you want. Magma Quake, not players, but it's just another board wipe here we need. Star of Extinction can win you the game quite easily in this deck. We've run things like Stuffy Doll, Boris Reckoner, so we'll go into it later on, but it can really win the game quite easy. Comet Storm is actually okay in this deck, don't judge it on the meme. Jaya's Emoliating Inferno, it's great, you can burn down 3 targets, you gain the life. Chain Reaction, you're versing a weenie deck, you just blow up the board. Now we've got our more direct spells. So Lightning Helix and War Leader's Helix. We'll use Lightning Helix for example. So it is a red-white, so it's going to have both effects from Firesong. So it deals 3 damage to target creature, which that 3 damage will have lifelink, and you gain 3 life from the spell itself. So you deal 3 damage, you gain the lifelink part, so you gain 3 life. But you've also gained 3 life for a lifelink and the card's ability. So you get to deal another 3 damage. So you gain 6, deal 6. War Helix does the same, but it's 7 and 7. So your dual color cards in this deck, you have to be careful. You have to think about, is the card gaining your life? Do I get to do damage? Fight with Fire is a great card because you can use it early on to burn 1 creature down, gain 5 life, stabilize. Or you can kick it in the late game and you can divide up the 10 damage where you need, and then you can target players. So if you can kicker it, go for the face. Mortars is great because early on, single removal, life gain, or the late game, hit the board for 4, gain a ton of life. Bonfire can be a massive blowout late game if you can draw into it with a ton of mana ready. Can kill people outright. Bright Frame again, just burns down targets. It's great for it. Then we've got more, these are more singular as well. Banefire and Burn From Within will target probably the player. That's probably what you're going to do with them. Red Sun, same deal, the player. Crater's Claw is a little bit better because you've got that extra 2 damage of reach. Get there a little bit further. Deflecting Palm can be another interesting one because it's a red-white and the Deflecting Palm deals the damage from redirection. So however much damage you get to redirect, you'll gain that much back. And it will deal an additional 3 on top because you gain the life from the spell. Price of Progress is a great one because you verse a 4 or 5 color commander deck, probably all non-basics, and you're just going to go, okay. Now these are more your tool utility cards. They're very handy. So the Confluence are amazing. They're all climbed up in price quite a bit. The red one is handy in the deck because you can either go hit the board or hit the player. So you've got lifelink on all of it, and you do have the option to hit artifact. This deck hits on artifact and enchantments very well. The white one, you can choose to gain life once, so you gain 5 life, but because you gain life, you can deal 3 damage. And then probably you're going to do the tokens or the enchantment hate. It's like adding a free mode onto these cards. Same thing with Escalate cards. They both can gain life or deal damage, so therefore they can both gain life or deal more damage. And then you can keep escalating and choose the other modes if you need to. The red command can gain you life because you can choose the mode. The red one is in the deck because it's just hate on the board. Same thing with the Braid and Divine Offering. Choosing the first option of Braid can bolt out a creature and gain you 3 life for 2 mana. It's not bad, but it's versatile because you can also hit an artifact. Sorry. Divine Offering lets you destroy an artifact, you gain life equal to CMC, and then because you gain life, you get to deal 3 damage. So 2 mana instant, get rid of an artifact, gain life, and Lightning Bolt another thing. You see, the deck's pretty good. Aurum Thunder is in here just because it doesn't work with Commander, but it's a very handy red-white spell. Intimidation Bolt is amazing. I didn't even know about this card until I looked into the Commander. So deal 3 damage to a target, you're going to gain the life. But because it had lifelink, you also get to deal another 3 damage. And then other creatures cannot attack you this turn. That's pretty handy. Considering you need time to set up, that's a good card in this deck. Mizzix's Mastery is the win con of the deck. If you can hit it, you're going to win right then. Exile target card that's instant or sorcery from your graveyard. For each card exiled with this card, copy it, and you may cast them without paying the cost. So you want to overload it, and you can hit every instant or sorcery in your graveyard. All those big board wipes that don't have X in them, they're looking real good now. Inferno, 12 damage to each player, each creature. It's amazing. The Tremors is more of a utility piece in this deck. So you can pay X enough to board wipe, and you can keep going higher to hit artifacts too. And then if you go high enough, you can also get a creature out of it. So it's an interesting part in the deck. Balefire Liege kind of supports what you're already doing. If you cast a red spell, Lightning Bolt target player. If you play a white spell, gain 3 life. So it kind of supports what we're already doing. As well as buffs the creatures, but again, you're not attacking too much, you're just blowing up the board constantly. Treasonous Ogre. This is the greediest card in this deck. Pay 3 life, have 1 red mana. Because of your life is pretty irrelevant because of the constant life linking board wipe, you can get 10 mana for free in a turn and you'll still be fine. You can keep doing what you need to do. So we'll go into a little bit further on. So Boros Reckoner and Spite Mare are 2 other win conditions. So whenever they're dealt damage, you can direct, well, they still take the damage, but you can deal damage equal to wherever you want. So if you starve Extinction and both of them are on the board, you get to do 2 lots of 20 damage to 2 targets. Probably both to the opponent, so you can hit the opponent for 40. Same is true for Stuffy Doll, but Stuffy Doll never dies. So it keeps trickling them with 1 damage. Every board wipe you do, stack on the damage again towards them. The Gear Hulk, it's good because it's going to draw you 3 cards, or you're going to burn them pretty hard. Either way, you're going to win. Feldar Sovereign. You can play the card, you can play it, and you will win with it, but it's not free. The win doesn't count. You did not earn that win. You just played 1 card to win the game. Rock's Faithmender helps the life gain, doubles it up. It lets you abuse your life total. That Treasonous Ogre can do a lot more, and then a card later on can do a bit more work. Alms Collector. You're a red-white deck. You can't draw very well. So where you can find draw, you're going to use it. The fact this guy can flash in after a greedy blue player or blue-black is doing your thing, you can get a lot of free cards. Dualcaster Mage. You can copy one of those big spells you're doing. Why not? More damage, more life. Blaze Commando and Pyromancer, if unchecked, could build you a little bit of a board, because we have ways of protecting them from our own board wipes later on. Fire Servant, I think people forget about. It just doubles up damage from red instant and sorcery. Your X is ×2, why not? Nahab the Eternal, so if every damage you've done post-combat main phase, during your post-combat phase, you get 1 red for each life the opponent's lost. So you do all your damage in the pre-combat main phase, and then you get all that damage done back as mana. So it encourages you to be really greedy for 1 turn or go for a big play. Charm Breaker just keeps recurring those. It's at random, I believe. Yes, at random. But most instant sorceries are board wipes, so it's not too bad. Gisela, double the damage, half the damage, speeds up that clock real quick. Now this is more your protection. So Mark of Asylum, prevent all non-combat damage to be dealt to creatures you control. So every time you board wipe, you don't kill your own creatures. Same for Light of Sanction. Now your commander is very expensive. 6 mana, after that death 8, then 10, then 12. It gets expensive to maintain, so you'll want to avoid that if you can. And once people catch on to what you're doing with it, they're going to try and kill it again and again and again. So Darksteel Plate and Greaves are a pretty good option here. Probably the Plate more than Greaves, but both, why not? So Who Shelters All is your really only way to fight blue. Because blue players are going to sandbag those counterspells, wait till you tap out for your big X spell and just counterspell. Aether Flux Reservoir. This is the greediest card in the deck next to the Ogre. You can pay 50 life, deal 50 damage. The little life gain storm thing there doesn't really matter, but that pay 50, do 50 damage. If you're board wiping every turn, you're gaining 30 to 100 life a turn quite easy in this deck. 4-player game, I'd hate to think how much you're doing. You can kill people easy, so easy in this deck. Things like Pyromancer's Goggle, it's not protection, but it helps double up what you're trying to do. Again, double the damage, you're ramping a little bit. Well of Lost Dreams is probably the only way you can really draw quite well, big for a turn. When you gain life, you may pay X where X is equal to or less than the life you've gained. Then you can draw that many cards. So you gotta kind of keep mana in reserve if you want to draw with it. The Archive doubles the draw after the first card and doubles your life gain further. Wonderful. Staff of Nin. I don't think many people know about Staff of Nin. It is 6 mana, but you draw 2 cards on upkeep, and it headshots a little weenie every turn. Just tap, deal 1 damage anywhere. You can chip down planeswalkers, you can take out 1/1 tokens quite easy. It's not too bad, or if you have to go for the life. Book of Wrath is a card I think people forgot about. So this is printed in the dark originally, and I think it was printed in 7th or 8th edition. Pay 2 life, pay 2 mana, draw a card. Ignore the pay 2 life. You're just paying 2 mana, draw a card in this deck. If someone told me I could do that in any commander deck, that's very powerful. The Immortal Sun has kind of replaced Mind's Eye in this deck, because it reduces your spells by 1, buffs your creatures, which I guess helps a little bit, and you draw an additional card. Mind's Eye does have the benefit of you can draw whenever an opponent draws. Sorry. But this deck uses mana pretty often. So, it's a fun deck, Firesong and Sunspeaker, but you have to remember the deck is very greedy. You've got points of vulnerability. The early game, you're setting up, ramping what you can with all your artifacts. I'm not showing them here, by the way, because this is a deck idea. It's more cards that work well with it. We know we're going to play Signets, we're going to play Soaring, we're going to play Guild Lotus. You know what ramp you need. You've played Commanded before. The lands, except for Who Shelters All, is you play any red-white you can, play your basics. Heavily skewed probably towards red, because you're more red than white. So that's up to you. It's not net decking, it's just deck ideas. You can work that part out. But realize the deck is weak in the beginning, till you set up with Commander. You hold the mid game. You control the board from creatures. Every turn you're going to try and board wipe, you're going to gain that much life, and you can use that later on to kill people outright. But your biggest problem will be blue players. You are very vulnerable to counter spells. You can have all this mana saved up and spent into one spell and just cancelled. But the idea of this deck is probably a 4-player game. You can sit there kind of doing your own thing, don't annoy anyone in the first few turns, they don't know what's going on, let them fight each other, and once you're ready to go, pull the trigger, start board wiping again and again and again, and that's probably the best way to do it, I think. I like the Commander deck a lot, and I can't wait to see a few people playing it in my area. So let me know what you guys think of the deck. Let me know any stories down below. Have you had any great games with it yet? Or them? So, yeah. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like and sub, and have a good one.